Hey everybody, welcome back. I am excited about this video today because I am going to show you my progress in my sketchwork and my drawings from the beginning of this year until now. I've done a little audit of my work and I think it's going to be very interesting for you to see the progression. So come along and let's get started. So this is my first sketchbook since high school, and I actually started this book a little bit before the beginning of this year. And I was doing these sketches on postcards, in index cards, and I was building up my sketching habit. And I came across this book in my studio and it was empty. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start a sketchbook. So I hadn't done one of these in years and I thought it would just be fun to do it. So I went ahead and did it. So this is my first sketchbook, which I started in almost in the beginning of this year. And let me take you through it because I think the progress is pretty interesting. So I actually started this December 5th, 2024. And you can see it's very cartoony. I treated it like a sketching journal where I would kind of document things that was taking place during the day, my thoughts, little things that I was encountering at home and at work. And I tried to make it as fun as possible. So my goal was to do a page a day. So I dated each page and I just kept going with it, right? So you can see the work is like really cartoony, but by the time I got to here, I just kind of started getting more a little bit serious about the forms and trying to like actually draw actual figures. At the time, I was definitely drawing from life, and all of these drawings are direct, right? I used a gel pen or a Sharpie marker, and my goal was to draw direct as possible. So I kept going, right? And as you can see, the work is getting a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, right? I started getting into the figure more and studying life drawing more. And I would always revert back to the cartoony stuff and fun stuff, making little notes. And it started to change, right? You can see at this point, starting to change. And I was always taking notes and I was really trying to be a student of the human figure at this point because I was drawing every day and I was like, you know what, I got to get better at this. So I really was really into like form and shape and how the human body worked. And, I tried like some cross hatching and stuff like that. And this is actually the first drawing of this year. So starting from here, you could see my progress from this cartoony stuff to here, right? And I kept going. So this is what I was doing in the beginning of this year. This is all from like January of this year. And I'm pretty proud of it, right? Because this is like the first book that I took seriously since I was in high school. The first time I really documented my work and my progress. And, I've always wanted to like throw some fun stuff in there along with, my serious studies. I would draw from photographs off the internet. And I think at this point, my goal was to just finish the book. And I was doing as much as I could, trying to do a page a day, but it didn't always work out that way. But I finally got to the end. I believe, yeah, this was my last page. From January to March 12th, this is this was the progress that I was walking in. And the crazy part was I had no idea of how much drawing I did this year until I stumbled across more work, right? So these drawings, I did tons of these drawings, like at my desk, just like kind of playing around. Like, and these drawings would take maybe like 5, 10 minutes. And I found like a whole pile of them that I totally forgot about. So I put these in this book to show you guys. And these two are direct drawings with the Sharpie marker, right? No planning. I would just draw a line, and wherever that line would lead me, it would turn into a little stylized portrait. So these were pretty fun. Now, I do have some of these that are older, but I think most of them are from this year. Some of these are dated, some of these not. So I think the ones that aren't dated are definitely from this year. But yeah, um, I did these drawings and they ended up in a pile, and I just literally just found them not too long ago before I'm making this video. So I got excited, so I wanted to include this in the presentation, right? These are definitely from 2024. And these are some pull prints or some lino cut prints that I made. Now, this one's pretty old. That's from 2022. And this one's from 2022 as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And it just goes to show you like how much art you can create in a short amount of time. Now, I'm showing you this because at the same time, and I believe this year, I wanted to experiment with gouache, and I started this sketchbook. And I wanted something to hold my studies for my gouache paintings, right? Because I wanted to kind of play around with it and experiment with it. And these were like my first experiments. I believe I did a video on this one. And I might have did a video on this one as well. But these are gouache paintings. But then it was in March, or I think March, April of this year, that I got diagnosed with cancer. And this was like the last piece that I did with gouache. And I really didn't like this paper for gouache because it's kind of like crinkly and buckles up. So I held off on the gouache for a while. And then when I went into therapy, I said, you know what? I'm going to use this book. I'm not going to allow it to just go to waste. And I started doing pencil drawings when I would sit in therapy. So again, you can see the progress, right? So I went from like a cartoony style sketching with a ballpoint pen to doing some pretty polished pencil drawings, right? Now, the pencil drawings, they took a while to do, but I did have a lot of time because I would actually literally sit in my therapy for a good 5 to 8 hours. And there was nothing else to do but either watch TV or on my phone. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to use this time to draw. And that's what I did. And uh, it was very therapeutic because I was forced to focus because again, these drawings are pretty much direct, and I had photo reference, but I drew exactly how I saw it in the photo, and no tracing or anything like that, but just to kind of get my eye hand coordination back in tune, and I think these were like very fun to do. Here's one I did of Jimi Hendrix. And this is a little shift because I started using charcoal because I didn't like the sheen of the graphite, right? So the charcoal has a matte finish, and the light doesn't bounce off it. So that's why I started using the charcoal. And I thought they come out pretty good. And there's one more piece. This was the last piece that I did. And it's actually one of the nurse's sons at the hospital. She was so nice. And I said, you know what? You're so nice. I want to do a portrait of your son, if you don't mind. And she said, sure. And she gave me a picture. And this is what I did. So I'm going to, the next time I go to my doctor, I'm going to give it to her. But that is everything that not everything. That's the progress that I've seen this year. You can grow in a very, very short amount of time. And you just have to put your mind and heart to it, and you can do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and share. I love you all. I hope this inspired you. Get out there, create something. And I love you all. Yahweh bless.